Hi, hello, and welcome to Angel Messages here at Vertex of Abundance. My name is Serene Priestess Gorgeous. I will be your oracle today. So, my findings were that we're confronting something. It's almost as if something's over, and we might be having a little bit of difficulty moving on or taking a little time moving on, or we might not. Also, for some of us, it's the same energy, but it's going to affect us in different ways. For some of us, we're going to wake up to the fact of how disempowered we have been. And it's going to be like blinding flashes of the obvious. It's going to be chaotic epiphanies that really kind of unravel us, but we're not going to lose our foundation. We're going to burn it down to the ground all the same. We're going to make a lot of endings. Now, to a lesser, subtler note, it won't feel like that. It won't feel subtle. There's going to be a lot of intense conflicts this week, okay? So moving on towards the 7th, we may find that the only unraveling we do have is relationships. Okay, now it's all for the purpose of our self-worth and value and our sovereignty and freedom. And the opportunities, we may not take them. We're going to be having challenges stepping into alignment with our path because people, places, and things are being forced away. They're being ripped away from us this week. Okay? And it's going to be hard. We're not going to want to surrender. We're not going to want to surrender. So, universally, what's going on is life experience, okay? And again, it is toxicity, shadows. We're learning here. Significant life events, powerful revelations that lead to change, time to spread our wings. We're getting opportunities to break out, break free this week. Understanding what happens when we descend down here to the material plane, to the matter, to the darkness. Well, opportunities present themselves so we can find our light. And it may just be rude awakenings where suddenly we're left with a cold shock reality of just how bad things have gotten and how we engaged on our spiritual power dynamic with these things and how to wake up, break free. Now, down here in the material, it's going to look like places where we're lacking self-worth and value, where we're unable to be balanced in the exchange of our self-worth and value, or we need to find self-worth and value in ourselves. We need to build ourselves up in a way. You know, that's what it looks like down here. And the intention and the materiality around that is going to be that we need patience and fortitude. Okay, we need strength, courage, and wisdom as well. That's what we're needing. We need to get these psychic insights. We need to have an understanding of the events going on behind the scenes, both in respect to the mysteries, the respect to the divine feminine, okay, respect to our own self-worth and value, respect to our authentic self, okay, how we're really giving of ourselves, because the price that we're paying it with our soul. And we're going to know really that in places where we have too many fears. If we're not releasing fears this week, that's where we're allowing ourselves to be held back. I'm not saying that the fears are holding us back, which they are, but the fears are an indicator of how much you lack sovereignty of the self. Okay, if you're not able to practice strength, courage, and wisdom this week and walk away from things that aren't in alignment with you, stop giving to them. Stop holding on to them because you have something you should be giving yourself. That's an indicator. Now, the gift to give is to practice discernment. Again, strength, courage, and wisdom. Releasing harsh energies, especially judgments from others. Having forgiveness and compassion, but doesn't mean you need to stick around and continue to be in a cycle or a relationship or partnership with them. Okay. What's going on right now is we need to transmute some energies. We need to turn poison into medicine, lemons into lemonade, obstacles, conflicts into opportunities. Right now, there's competing goals around us, other agendas. People are getting in our way on purpose because either they're jealous or they don't want us to get any more powerful. They want to keep their little gamer scheme going, bothersome details, conflicts with others ultimately, especially in the soul group. People, places, and things that we used to love that we've outgrown, and we're finding we're falling out of love, and they're becoming jealous or in some way power struggles. That's why we're here. That's why the messages is coming. So that was actually what we're doing already. We're already in conflicts. Why we're here is we're looking to find our place in the soul group, and we're needing to finally be who we've always been meant to be. Sometimes it's going to be having to face the shadows. A complex decision and need to do research here. Stop procrastinating is what the 7 of Cups means. We're using the angel messages that are coming from the Doreen Virtue Angels deck. It's a complex decision here, really. We need to have our place in the soul group. We need to be who we've always been meant to be and be able to say yes to some things, no to other things, and be okay with however the cards fall, as long as we're standing in our own truth and our own sense of divinity. You know, the message came from Archangel Metatron. The grid of self-love and compassion. So the universal love vibration is what Metatron is tending here. Metatron is the matrix. It can be both negative and positive, you know. There's a universal time matrix and a false ascension matrix. It's really how you engage through your soul's consciousness with the material world and how you manifest from it. Are you using your lower self or your higher self to manifest through the source energy, whatever reality you choose to see through your self-worth and value? So it's the same energy people are using to create darkness, and it's the same energy people are using to create light. That's what Metatron is, that universal source code here in the physical. The oversoul, the over mind, the firmament, the arc energy. Not the archons, but the aeon. It can also be the archons, but there's archangels and archons. Because we're out of alignment with a lot of people, places, and things, and this is the week where that comes. And you know, what's happening down here in the material for us is we're going to be like, well, the universal thing is we're having to look at our self-worth and value because time is running out. Things are about to shift. A reality is about to come through. And it's going to be a conflict for everything that we came here to accomplish. And when I say a conflict for everything we came here to accomplish, we incarnated here to build ourselves up, build up our shade, build up our ascension, build up our consciousness, build up our vibration, build up our truth. And the secret, the burden is going to become clear pretty soon. The secrets are going to come out. If we start working on the shadow, working on the ego, the secrets are going to come out. We've been entrapped in something. And a lot of us have been getting false enlightenment as well. So there's a difference between illumination and enlightenment. Okay? Illumination means you're following somebody else's light. Enlightenment means you find your own light. Now, some things need to be illuminated for you, but you should be able to take the concepts and ideas they're using and filter them through your own self-worth and value, filter them through your own sense of truth and sense of divinity, and then still come up with an answer that works for you according to your own technologies. And yeah, you can learn other people's technologies, but never give up self-worth and value, and always practice discernment. So if we're needing, strength, courage, and wisdom, it's because there's a lot of toxicity around us. And we're coming into that consciousness. And if really why we're getting this message today is because we need to resurrect our place in the soul group, step back into, reclaim our sovereignty, is because something's been taken from us. We're on the losing end of the storehouse here. We might not have an awareness that we're in the Garden of Eden, or we might be returning to that Garden of Eden. And the Garden of Eden is where everything is abundant. It says a very happy family life. That's a place in the soul group. Financial security. That's abundance. And that, see, our net worth comes from our self-worth. Finding magic in the little things in life. Realizing that heaven on earth is here. So the gift to give ourselves is to practice discernment, great inner strength, release harsh judgments, forgiveness, and compassion. Well, that means we're going to need to get to this new perspective, and we've been feeling like a martyr, and we're going to realize that that needed to happen, so we learned our lesson. We needed this as a path towards enlightenment. So again, my findings are that we're going to start confronting things. There's expected opportunities to follow our dreams, but we're going to need to confront what's alive in us. We're going to need to transmute and move out of some of our shadow. We're still fighting our own shadow here. And it's because on a spiritual level, there's a cycle to close out. We're ready. We have the resources and the ability to manifest anything that we want. Life is actually magical. The universe is conspiring to help us. But for some reason, we need to close out some cycles. And it would involve finding strength, courage, and wisdom and reclaiming our sovereignty. Again, we've been given to people, places, and things. We need to refine our own vibration so that we can manifest a higher quality caliber of a soul group. You know, if you're acting devilish and you have scarcity mentality, everyone around you is going to be that. Well, the recommendation here, how do we do this strength, courage, and wisdom? How do we find this inner strength, releasing harsh judgments, forgiveness, and compassion? One thing is, there's a false sense of entrapment. We're being overly focused on material things and negative and fear-based thoughts. The reality is what you see it. And see, whatever it is that you choose to see, this means you're manifesting from the lower self. You're in the Garden of Eden, but you're choosing to believe that you're in hell. I don't know how else to say that, but it's supported by the devil. Here it's called ego. Okay, and again, I'll read it. False sense of entrapment, being overly focused on material things, negative or fear-based thoughts. You should have vitality, reinvigoration, growth, renewal, expansion, enlightenment. Okay, and you're living in all of your blessings and abundance already, but you're choosing to believe that it isn't. And that is what, some of that is the masses and the global elite. Blinding flashes of the obvious, angelic guidance here. Balance and moderation, cooperation, and compromise. Yeah, sometimes you do need to use the shadow to find the light. Sometimes you need to transmutate. Sometimes you got to take dirty water and filter it so that you have drinking water because there's no clean water available. Example. You know, I'd run it through the filter a couple times, throw a few tablets in there, and run it through some radiation filters myself, but that's just me. You know, mentally, what we're needing is hope, faith, and optimism. A sudden event that needs immediate attention, time is of the essence. Think things through carefully. Think towards the future and make investments that are important, not urgent. Now, time is of the essence. That means you're leaving the crisis space, being hypervigilant, always responding to some perceived conflict, catastrophizing, all of that. Because it's too much work. Get guidance. Don't become out of balance because you're stressing yourself out, and that may create concerns that are hidden right now. It may create future obstacles for you. So let's pull an archetype card. Child eternal and child wounded. So I'm just gonna, I don't know how to do this. One thing I was picking up here is that this is like a big spiritual ascension week, and it's gonna happen because everybody's gonna be forced to look at their shadows, and there's probably gonna be some type of crisis in your life. I hate to say it, I'm feeling that very strongly. And the eternity of your spirit is gonna shine through, and that's what's gonna help you, especially with that Sun in reverse, and the Strength card came out twice here. And see, if it's not a flow, it's not a go, and that's the thing. So most of us right now have this inability to grow up and be responsible, inability to participate in our own life. There's extreme dependency on others for physical security, in a way of like we blame the reality of our lives on other people, places, or things, instead of like allowing ourselves to see things with fresh eyes. We need to awaken to the awaken compassion and desire to serve others, especially other wounded children. So that's that forgiveness and compassion, great inner strength, releasing harsh judgments, opens the learning path of forgiveness here. Right now, we're just blaming all the dysfunctional relationships on childhood wounds, or resisting moving on through to forgiveness because of hurt feelings. Again, determination to remain young in body, mind, and spirit, ability to see things with fresh eyes is the way out of that. We have the Queen of Cups here with the High Priestess. So yeah, listen to your intuition, have patience, consider carefully what you want before acting. Relationships develop to a new level, trust your intuition, care for yourself and others. When relationships develop to a new level, it's not talking about pre-existing relationships that were toxic. Sometimes you need to leave something until the devil goes in reverse. You need to allow the other the devil energy always is two. There's a person taking power and a person giving power. When one person leaves, it evens out for both parties. So sometimes it needs to be relationships in general. You replace a bad relationship with a good one, and don't feel the need to overlap. Develop inside yourself what it is you want to see in other people. Find it alive in you before you try to have it reflected back to you by another person as well. There's an additional message here, and it's the Hermit. Spend time in quiet meditation, spiritual teaching, self-discovery. That's what I was talking about. Find it alive in you before you try to receive it from other people. If it's not in you, if you don't love yourself, you're not going to find healthy love in the world. Empress, self-worth and value. Lavish in abundance, give birth to your dreams, nurture yourself and others. The Star card, happy times, make positive, optimistic, long-term plans. You're on the right path when you have self-worth and value is what I'm picking up. That's when the relationships will come into the picture, because again, remember, listen to your intuition, have patience, consider carefully what you want before acting. All right, it's been an honor and a pleasure to serve you. Thank you for allowing me the privilege to do so. Namaste, Dandava, and Ashe.